What up guys, Jarv here, and we're back again with some Destiny 2. Now in today's video we're taking a look at the Strykers forehand. This is the black Armory sword, so we're going to be taking a look at the quest steps in order to obtain the frame. Now this sword is actually ridiculous. It can do 140,000 DPS per slash, so it does huge amounts of damage to bosses, as you can see in the footage here. So if you find the video useful, feel free to leave a rating, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But without further delay, let's jump in. First things first, you have to get the sword frame from Ada. This requires you to get a weapon core and 25 photonic power cells. You'll get those from killing Cabal. So firstly, I jumped over to the outskirts to kill the servitor, and from here I was able to get one of his caches, and from here you can get the weapon cell. So it's fairly straightforward and really easy to do. The Cabal side of things, I jumped onto the Leviathan and I just got out the Whisper of the Worm and sniped them from the respawn. And you can keep loading in until you eventually get the next step of the quest. Now this requires you to kill 50 Vex and 5 powerful enemies. Now from here I jumped over to Artifact's Edge, and on the left hand side there's a great lost sector which you'll probably remember from last week, try and unlock the Izanagi Forge. But if you jump in here there are loads of Vex, and if you get your sword out you can just swipe away, even using the hilt if you have no ammo, as you can see that I'm doing here. And if you're really lucky you might get a catalyst drop as well. And once you've taken all 50 Vex out using the sword, you can then focus on the powerful enemies such as the bosses. Now I just completely reran this lost sector over and over again by spawning back into Artifact's Edge, running to the end past all the ads, and then getting the boss weak and then just finishing them off with my hilt. And you eventually get the beta frame, and this is the next step of the quest. Now this requires you to get 15 multi-kills, which is fairly easy. You can pretty much stay where you are in this lost sector, or the one over towards the Dreaming City is also very good, the one in the Strand under where Petra is this week. But all you have to do is run into the lost sector and get your sword out, whether it's got ammo or not, and after just about 5 minutes or so you should have enough multi-kills to unlock the next step of the quest. And as I said, if you get really lucky you might get a catalyst as well. Now the next step of the quest requires you to get 20 Radiant Seeds. Now one of the best ways to get this, I find, is the lost sector which is under Petra this week in the Strand. Here if you rush on your Sparrow all the way to the end, throw a few grenades down to clear out the ads, in just 4 sniper shots you can take out this boss really easy. So it doesn't take a lot of time whatsoever, and they'll drop all these Radiant Seeds for you just to pick up. And all you need to do is leave the lost sector, spawn back in, and repeat that process. And you only need to do that twice, and that will complete the next step of the quest. Now from here you return to Ada, and she'll give you the Radiant frame, and now we are ready to forge this insane sword. Now you jump over to the Sunken Isles, and you'll need to go to the Valundra Forge on the EDZ, and this is where we'll forge this weapon this week. So that sums up all the quest steps for this sword this week. Once you defeat the boss in the Valundra Forge, you'll have your first hands on this amazing sword. Now you're probably sat there asking, well Jarv, it's just a sword, what's so special? Well, you're absolutely right, swords aren't the strongest in D2, but with the black Armory weapons, if you get the right roll, you can have a fantastic PvE weapon on your hands. Now this was my first roll, this wasn't the greatest, you'll get to see the one that I'm talking about in a short while, but this is definitely worth farming for 2 reasons. One, because it's a great sword that can do 140,000 DPS per slash, but it's also the easiest and quickest weapon to forge. Literally the only thing you need to do once you now unlock the powerful frame is 15 multi-kills and then 20 Radiant Seeds. You can do that in one forge alone. Go back to Ada, get the Radiant frame, come back, do another forge. So this is a really easy thing to farm. So if you're after those 100 frames, for example, for the Triumph, the sword is the one you want to do because it is so quick to do. But also if you get the right roll, like this one, then you can have a fantastic PvE weapon. Now this has got an impact masterwork, it has surrounded as well, and pretty much 2 out of the other 3 perks are damage buffs as well. So if you stack that with a Warlock's Well and the empowering melee, you have an unbelievable tool in your hands, as you'll see from this footage here. Now interestingly, this sword seems to have most of the standard sword perks that you'd associate with any other sword with the exception of Surrounded. So if you can get Surrounded on your sword and pop that mod on there as well, you're further enhancing the ability to deal immense damage. So as you can see here, I popped my well, pop the melee, and if you look at these damage numbers, so we've got 56,000 and 3 lots of 28,000. So if you do the quick math, it's just over 140k. That's when I'm stood in the well, and look, even outside the well, I'm still able to deliver over 100,000 per slash, which is incredible amounts of DPS. So we just look at this footage again, 56,000, 28,129. There's a few 456s, those are from Arc Souls, but that's immense amounts of damage. And I'll run a clip here in a moment where we literally take out the boss in probably no more than 5 seconds, which is insane when you consider how much time it took us way back when this Forge first launched to take this boss out. So I'm going to let this next clip run out at full speed just so you can see how quickly you can take this Forge boss out, and I'm excited to jump into Strikes with an arc burn heavyweight and just see how fast you can melt bosses. Look, he's literally practically dead already. But yeah, that's going to sum up the video for today, guys. I hope you find it useful with the guide to get the sword and also the sort of roles you want to be searching for as well, especially if you're searching for that DPS beast for PvE. If you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a rating, that super helps me out here on the channel. And if you are new to the channel and want to see more D2 content moving forward, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. I'm going to jump back into the game and I'll see you again soon. Peace.